Hello and welcome to Evolution. This year we have seen more than 1 million vinyl records have been sold in the UK so far this year. The first time this milestone has been achieved since 1996. But what's all the fuss about? Why has vinyl gone from being a 3 million a year business to a 20 million one in just 5 years? We're going to ask all varieties of members of the public and music professionals of all ages and backgrounds. We asked the general public what they thought about vinyl versus downloads for a general opinion.
Do they do vinyl now?
Vinyl is, unique.
When you get something digital, like I can put it on many things at once.
Vinyl.
Because we were brought up with vinyl.
I know nothing about digital music.
Most people said vinyl. What do you think? The sales for records are the highest they have been in 15 years. 2.9 million records were sold in the past 6 months. Comparatively, CDs are still struggling, with sales falling another 14% as digital music continues to rise as expected due to the success of streaming services such as Spotify. Despite the rising popularity of streaming music, we went over to the Royal British Legion to see how the older generation react to this change.
Do you know what is in front of you?
It looks like a turntable to put a record on.
Yeah, of course I do. A recorder.
Tape recorder, isn't it?
An up-to-date record player.
Do you think you could play it for us?
But perhaps it does.
Yes. Oh, I see, yeah. It's actually playing.
Ah! Right, there you go.
Do you still use vinyls?
Occasionally, yeah.
No,
I no longer have a record player.
Despite mastering the vinyl, the same could not be said for the laptop.
tablet or whatever you call it.
Do you think you could play some music on it?
No.
No, I couldn't, I don't know.
Would you like to have a go?
Is there one on there?
So how do I get onto that?
Getting it to play now is the thing.
Oh dear God. You didn't really want me. I'm a dinosaur.
You're kidding me.
Would you like some help?
Yes, please.
You just click on a song.
Mm-hmm.
Now press the play button. Click up there.
Ah.
I wouldn't have known.
What did you think of the new system then?
Not really that impressed.
Rubbish.
Better. But that doesn't mean I work it.
With tuition, I could use that, but it doesn't feel the same.
Yeah.
We should really start teaching our Oli how to use a laptop. We then went to visit producer Josh Phillips in his studio to get a professional's opinion and from someone who has been working in the music industry through records, CDs and finally to downloads. He has worked with all medias of music. He has also created the Dancing with the Stars theme tune and worked with the best 70s band.
Yeah, I think vinyl as well as CD, there was enough room to put artwork. So I think from that point of view, that to actually own an album or a CD was the fact that you would actually sit down, put a record on or a CD, sit back and listen to it in its entirety. Yeah. Maybe looking at some of the sleeve notes about who was playing on the album or who recorded it or engineered it or mastered it. Or you might look at the lyrics. And I think that has gone from music because most people these days, well, certainly a younger generation, are downloading iTunes or whatever it might be that they're on. And they're missing that whole treat of actually listening to an album from beginning to end.
Our next interview was with Langley Records owner and founder Jeff Langley, 79. More than 2,000 people from Peru, Australia and Japan have signed an online petition fighting to save Langley Records from being turned into a Royal Mail customer service point. Mr. Langley opened Langley Records in Walton Road in 1972. Where do you stock your vinyls from?
Oh, I can get that from people that just produce this. These are all 180 gram, all of them.
What does an average customer that comes in here look like? Is it a complete mix?
Youngsters, believe it or not. Problem is there aren't any record shops around anymore. You've got HMV, actually there's nothing else. Heathrow Airport used to take the Ramada Hotel, clear out the whole floor and fill it up with CD players, vinyl, record players, and we'd go along and supply the vinyl. When every album we sold, we put a with compliments slip in. The music on a vinyl is brilliant.
Bono once said, "Music can change the world because it can change people." Now we move on to a debate between two fanatics, Elliot Stout, who is crazy for vinyls, and Lewis Lambert, who believes digital will always be the future. So first, Elliot, I'm going to give you a chance to defend and attack digital with vinyl. Go ahead.
Well, everyone preaches these days that digital is the best quality, clean, but you can't beat a vinyl. The quality, I feel, is superior. It's got that nice, warm, rich sound, where everything on digital is separate. When it's evident when people digitally remaster stuff, it just doesn't sound as good, all too separate, and it's not as the artist originally intended. And it's one of my main problems with the digital era these days. It's not as it's intended to be heard, unless of course it is produced nowadays, but still, even modern artists such as Adele are bringing out on vinyl now, and it speaks for itself when you hear it, I feel.
Okay, so now I'm going to give you a chance to defend digital. You've heard vinyl, so go ahead.
Yeah, Elliot spoke a lot about quality, and apparently you get this warm sort of sound from vinyl. The reason you get this warm sort of rich sound from a vinyl is because you're not actually getting all of the frequencies. Vinyls miss out a lot of the high frequency, so people think they're getting a much deeper tone, but you're not.
But does it matter if it sounds good? If it sounds good and there's a quality to it, if it's still of a quality, people didn't complain about it for the past 30, 40 years, or since the 1900s, since the vinyl was invented. You know, a lot of the time, you know, digital can just be a bit cold, and a vinyl seems to be like the artist is delivering a performance, to me anyway, whereas sometimes you can just get they've just gone in the studio, knocked it together, or it comes out, or that's maybe not the case, but it's the way it feels to me sometimes, especially as a listener.
Where does the future of music head? I'll start with you, Elliot.
Well, people are bringing back vinyl now. Jack White's starting up another label that exclusively sells vinyl, so I reckon they'll coexist, but I reckon vinyl will slowly come back to the forefront again.
Okay.
I think it just needs to keep developing. We've had the vinyl stage, we've had the CD stage. What is next? Is there another way we can listen to music?
All right, thank you to our guests. A little more insight there of what is better, or, you know, what is worse. Thank you. But are rapid changes of how we listen to music is the most exciting thing of all? Who knows? The iTunes and Spotify of today may be completely outdated and surplus in 10 to 20 years. Or maybe it'll come back as a hipster trend. All in all, what really matters is the music.